4-year career right now that sits at 42 SEC titles, and I'm assuming 6 NCAA titles in the 2019 calendar year Triple Crown. Just an amazing career. And as Lance and I visited some this summer and started to talk about his future and the future of our women's cross-country track and field program, we started to put the pieces together for him to retire following the 2023 season. And he's got a lot of pride in what he has built here, and he wanted to hand the baton off to his associate head coach, Chris Johnson. And that made a lot of sense to me. Chris has been a sought-after coach in this industry. I think every multiple calls about Chris and job opportunities. And he's somebody that I saw as I've developed a relationship with Chris that truly wanted him to be the next leader of our women's cross-country and track and field program. So I think it works out for our program. It's great for Lance and this kind of closing chapter in his coaching career here in Arkansas, and for us to be able to pass that on. Chris Johnson, I think, is the best scenario we could have. So with that, I know you want to talk to Lance and Chris, but Coach, any comments you want to make?
No, I just feel that truly blessed that I have the leadership that allows me to have input on decisions about my career and about the program in general is women's track and field. And I've been very fortunate to have great assistant coaches be part of our program. And Chris Johnson, it didn't take long for the rest of the world in track and field to figure out that he is really, really special and has a great future. And I feel truly honored that we're able to put this whole thing together where successor is going to, and the program is going to be in great hands.
We'll go ahead and take some questions.
Bob, we'll start with you.
Lance, Hunter talked about you guys talked this summer. How long has this been in your mind? Because obviously you're still in good health, thankfully, and all that. But, when you're in your 70s, you got to start thinking about like how long has maybe it been in your mind that you need, and why did you decide 2023 was the right time, and why was now announced it?
Well, I think that, when you hit 70, it just has a tendency, a lot of my peers reminding me all the time that I was 70. And, and I think it happens to everyone in every profession that the older you get is, okay, you're the last inning of this ball game. When are you going to, close it out? And so my wife retired a few years ago, and she's always been one to, hey, there's nothing wrong with walking away, especially in the successes that we've been able to have. And to have the staffs that I have in years past, and it just made kind of a natural opportunity and break to walk away. And so Hunter and I, sat down and chatted about it. And, July 2023 sounded like, plus then I'd be able to enjoy July 4th.
Do you feel like the timing now, a year and a half out, was important for recruiting, just so people, recruits will know you're going to be retiring?
Yeah, this last crew that we've recruited, it's been quite clear to them that there could be a change in the program, and hopefully Chris Johnson would be the successor. And I think our whole staff is on the same page as far as the formula that we use to try to be winning SEC titles as well as national, proven to be successful year in and year out. And Chris is a big believer in that as well. And so it works out perfect to try to make as smooth a transition as possible.
Brian Compton fit as far as near future.
Man, and then when we turn the reins over to Chris, obviously there's some decisions he's going to have to make, and I'll give Brian obviously the highest recognition, and Megan as well. Because, Megan Elliott has just done a fantastic job, understands our distance program, and if there's natural weapons in Fayetteville to complement Chris, they're already here.
Also, it's going to be difficult to guard against being a lame duck when you feel you still have the desire and everything, knowing that you're going to retire.
It's still there. I've always been real competitive, and I have good health. And as long as I'm enjoying the experience and so on, does it scare me to retire? Yes, no doubt about it, because I've never done it before. But the opportunity to still be around and stay attached to track and field in some way or another, obviously love to be able to do that. But as long as I'm an athlete.
So many times in recent years coming in and said, hey, so-and-so called me. They want to interview me for this head coaching job or that head coaching job, or maybe another top assistant job. And was there a point where you said, look, I'm not going to coach forever. If you can stay patient, you're going to be the guy. Kind of what was the dynamic?
I mean, the number is, I never calculated, but it was in the dozens that, came about. I mean, Chris was always on the short list. And I think it was a situation where Hunter recognized that right away when he came on board. And, we would talk about, the future and, how are we going to put this all together? And obviously probably the big question mark was I would walk away. So we came up with July 1.
30 plus years in coaching, and every time we talk to you after you win a title, it's always the first thing you say is couldn't have done it without the athletes. Everything goes to them. 30 years, that's a lot of athletes that you've had an impact on, and maybe thought about that yet. But have you ever looked back and think now all those lives that you've impacted in this building?
No, Coach, whenever you have an opportunity to share 4 or 5 years of life, constantly in a daily fashion, I've been able to be part of a lot of people's families, and that's part of coaching, and it's just one of the greatest honors you can have in the real world. A friend a few years back, and he said one of the blessings I've had is I know an opportunity to coach. So, coaching ranks, and been truly blessed that got Coach Mack, which was, a daily, we ran every lunchtime together, and it was like a clinic every day about how to get, better and stronger and faster, and the tricks trade, and hopefully we've shared those, the ones that I've been able to pass on to our athletes as well as our coaching staffs.
What would you say about Chris's impact on the program? Why you feel like he's the guy to replace you?
When Lonnie Green had been with me for 17 years, had the opportunity to take the job at Purdue, and eventually ended up at University of Kentucky, I counseled with him and said, okay, if you're going to leave, who's the guy I go after? And he said, you go after Chris Johnson. And I said, yeah, that was the first name that I thought of as well. I actually thought of his wife, Gigi, because she was always my favorite. But so I went to the athletic director and said, hey, there's one guy that we need to go after. And he asked 2 questions. He said, will that make you have the opportunity to win national championships? And I said, yes. And he said, is he going to be expensive? And I said, yes. And so we were able to, put that together, and the rest is history. 6 national titles since then. And I owe Coach Green a lot because there was no other name that we considered.
Back when Bev hired you, could you ever envision retiring under these circumstances? Championships won.
You know, it's interesting. I called her yesterday and I said, I just want to let you know that, you know, this is going to happen and so on and so forth. And I said, one of the things I always remember is that when you chose me to be your successor, you said you wanted to find somebody to take the program up a notch. And I felt when we were able to put this whole thing together with Chris, that I'm going to be able to, you know, go up another notch.
Lance, was it in the summer, like Hunter said, you guys talked that you decide, okay, 2023 outdoors, that'll be it? Or well, when did you reach this decision, you know, for sure that this was it?
Yeah, I think it was during the summer that we sat down and kind of, you know, came to some conclusion that was a natural break in the process.
There's a lot of celebrating going on around the SEC this right now.
I have had a few tests and so on and so forth. You deserve it. And on the portal tomorrow. So hopefully that won't be a factor. But there's a lot of kidding and there's a lot of appreciation of what went on, because I always wanted to across the nation, but there will be no tier.
Out to him stepping down and open. That's no disrespect to him. He's built an unbelievable program, but he's a grow into this opportunity to be a head coach. And I think Chris will grab this opportunity and he's going to continue to notch, if that's even possible, for our women's track and field program. Come on up here.
But between now and then, we still plan to win some other championships. Okay, we want to make sure that's clear. We're not going to take a break.
Johnson, just why don't you give us some opening comments and we'll take.
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to thank Hunter Yurchek, Terry Prentice, and my wife, and last but not least, Coach. Obviously, it's been a wonderful ride thus far. I couldn't be here without the people putting things into place and understanding all the hard work and the efforts that the athletes put in. It's one thing that I've learned from Coach is to get the athletes to buy in to the program, what we're doing, have a clear understanding of what's going on. And once that happens, then good things happen. So one of the lessons I learned as coming into putting myself in this position and getting the opportunity to be in this position is leadership. So as I talked to some people today, the mission is the same. The change of guards, if you will, the leadership changes, and that's going to help us to move forward. Everyone has a tenure, whether we get to choose that or not. Luckily, Coach has gotten to choose that, and he's had the ability to kind of help me get where I'm going to be. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. This is track and field at its best in the SEC at Arkansas. What more can you ask for?
Lance mentioned you've had a lot of other schools talk to you. How many would you estimate you took seriously, and how close have you come to maybe taking a head coaching job somewhere, another top assistant's job?
Well, I like to think that I take every opportunity with some sincerity. Obviously, I don't want them to waste my time and I don't waste their times. So there was 2 jobs that I probably considered real serious, but all of the ones that I looked at, I was interested in, at least willing to talk to them and see what they had to say.
And then what was the factor that kept you here? Did you have a sense before last summer that you would succeed, Lance, when the time came, or what was it that has kept you here all these years?
Never want to be presumptuous about being when Lance decides to leave, obviously anybody with good sense would understand that this is one of the best jobs, if not the best job in the country, and would love to have the opportunity to be here. So that was clear. But looking at other universities, I'm here because reason that I left the other university. You can win championships and national championships. Other universities are not going to put the resources and the support into doing that in terms of track and field. So there's only 1 of 3 schools probably, and one of those would be Arkansas, that has the ability to do that on a continuous basis, year in and year out. And if I'm already here, there's no really reason to change that.
I guess really for both the men's women's programs, it's been since like the 70s since they had a head coach that wasn't also the distance coach and cross country coach. Just kind of how do you handle, think you'll handle the distance programs, once you're in charge?
Well, I think I certainly handle them. I will manage the who I already have some ideas of who that would be, but distance is important to Arkansas. It's what this guy's name. The sprints and the jumps and the multis were very complementary to what coach has done and what is. So it wouldn't be my deal to change that part of the program because that's the centerpiece of it, if you will. We're just going to have supporting cast of what we do. What we do works, so it's not really reason to change it. Obviously, we can exit and make it better, make it more efficient. We'll do that. But it's in the way we do distance here is here to stay.
If there's intervening time before your head coach, just how do you feel that everything just kind of works business as usual, or is there a little different, goings on chemistry, kind of how things go these next couple of years?
Well, I mean, we're going to do business as usual. Me and coach have a great relationship. We had the ability out without issue, and he knows how I am, and I know how he is, and we're pretty straightforward guys as it pertains to how the program is ran. I mean, the beautiful thing about coach it's kind of worked the way it's worked. I mean, we're basically, obviously, he's the boss, and he gets to tell us yay and nay and not. But that's the leadership that he provides. So feel very comfortable about working with coach until his time is up, and even to get advice. And you never know. I mean, he's been doing this for a long time. So any advice that he can give and lead me in the right, or point me in the right direction, we're gonna take it.
Chris, you mentioned you're basically the head coach of the sprints. Yeah, like you said, you'd oversee everything, decide, that person would basically run the cross country program.
I would like to think that I could do cross country, but I always wanted to coach that steeplechase, but coaches but no, we're gonna hire a distance coach, and I'm not gonna micromanage them. I'm gonna let them do their jobs, and obviously I got great resources here. I mean, Bucky will still be here, coach will be around, and distance in Arkansas, you can't. It breeds that. It's in the air. People they connect with it. So whoever that I hire or appoint for that position, I know that they're going to be really good at what they do and have a connection to the community, the district running community, and to continue to push our program forward as it pertains to cross country. But no, Coach Johnson will not be coaching cross country.
You guys in texts or calls already from some cross country guys saying, "Hey, it's a ways off, but I'd love to be that guy," or has there been any of that yet?
Not me. Distance people have a tendency to hang with distance people for the most part. But I'm sure there will be endless amount of recommendations. I think that, I mean, obviously we're here and we get to enjoy being in Arkansas and understanding what it's about, even though sometimes we may think that we want more. But this is truly, being other places, this is truly a pinnacle for track and field. So there's any coach that wants to be successful will want to be a part of this program. And I truly believe that there's nothing that we don't have that we need to be successful. So I think that would be easy. The hardest part is about who will I pick. It's not going to be the interest.
And then Lance and Hunter mentioned talking about this last summer. At what point did they come to you and say, "Hey, we want you to be the next guy"?
Well, I mean, it was some discussions, and it led off with Terry and as the point person, and I had a conversation with Hunter and I had a conversation with Coach, and everybody takes the time and do what's right for them and what's best for, number one, the university and the track program. So we want to do what's best, and if I wasn't what's best, then it's not for me. So I think everyone came to the agreement that I was what's best, at least in their opinion, as to what's going to be best for this program. And that's what it's really about, not necessarily me. You know, I'd really like to just be in the background and lead the kids to be success in the classroom and on the track and continue to be good at what we do. You know, Hunter mentioned to what level we'll be able to take it. I mean, I don't know. That's a really hard question. I mean, 6 national championships in the last 5 years it's a feat that most programs don't get to do. Having a triple crown, I think there's only one other school that has a triple crown, and that's the University of Oregon. It's there. The thing that we need to do is to maintain consistency in our programs and keep trying to allure the athletes to Arkansas, and so they can see what it's all about and be able to continue the program's tradition that Coach McDonald and Coach Bugnam and Lance has set for this institution. So with that being said, I think that's the task. So it's not like we have to develop into something. We got to continue to feed the beast and continue to keep it at the level that it's already at.
I got one more. When they basically offered you this opportunity, I mean, how'd you feel about it? Was it like a dream come true?
I mean, you got to play it. You got to play it cool. Like, yeah. But you know, you get outside the offense. You know, you're excited. I mean, who wouldn't be? You if you wasn't excited, you wouldn't really have a heartbeat. I mean, it's to be in the SEC, to be at the premier program in the SEC, and the championships is not that I'm saying that. The championships, the national championship, conference championships, men's and women's, says that we're the best program in the SEC, and to be a part of that and be a leader within the program and the institute is fantastic.
Charter, Coach Johnson, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.